the NBA fined Draymond Green $50K, citing tampering rules when he said that Devin Booker needs to get out of Phoenix.
Great to see Book playing well and Phoenix playing well, but get my man out of Phoenix. It's not good for him. It's not good for his career. Sorry, Chuck, but they got to get Book out of Phoenix. I need my man to go somewhere where he can play great basketball all the time and win, because he's that type of player.
Are you tampering?
Maybe.
But Draymond Green not playing this season because they're not in the bubble. The Warriors aren't in the bubble. He's working as an analyst this time. Even though he's a player in the league, when he said what he said, he wasn't playing. He's not like in his regular mode. He gets a $50,000 fine. I find that hypocritical. Honestly, if Turner wants to really try to recruit Draymond for a future career, they should say, Draymond, we'll pay that fine for you. We'll grab that fine because you were just talking, as an analyst. However, all that being said, I 100% disagree with Draymond Green on the fact that Devin Booker needs to get out of Phoenix. I disagree with that notion 100%. Here lies a problem with the NBA, and I thought that Kawhi Leonard brought balance when he basically went to the Clippers. When Draymond saying that Devin Booker needs to get out of Phoenix, it disappoints me because you have to remember, the Warriors were once Phoenix. The Warriors drafted well. They made trades and draft picks and stuff like that. Drafted Clay, drafted Steph, drafted Draymond. Then they became the Warriors as we know today. That is what Phoenix is going to be if Devin Booker continues on his trajectory. He's going to continue playing well, and then they make more draft picks, possibly make a trade, land a big fish. Now they become the Phoenix Suns of the Barkley era that went to the finals. It all takes time, and you can't necessarily say get a guy out of here, get a guy out of there. It doesn't work like that. Look at Tim Duncan with the Spurs. That first year Greg Popovich coached, he was like horrible. There was even thinking about like, okay, we're gonna get rid of this guy, whatever the case is. Next year they got better. So you really can't say like, hey, get these guys out of here, because then you don't have that cyclical change. And this is the problem with the league. Nobody's patient anymore. They want right now, everything right now. Make a trade right now. Nobody wants to draft the guys, let them grow, draft some more guys, and then all of a sudden, a domino effect of making the right decisions, and your team becomes elite for the next 5 to 10 years. Nobody wants to do that. So it's kind of disheartening that Draymond would say that when he has to remember his farm system made the Warriors who they are. And even though they got Kevin Durant and everything like that, they went to back-to-back finals. They had unanimous MVP, back-to-back MVP, and Steph Curry. Like, all that doesn't happen if they're like, well, get Steph out of Oakland. And Steph was gonna go to I believe it was the Bucks. So what if Steph goes to the Bucks, then the Warriors team never becomes who it is. And I think that's what we're missing out. Like, a lot of times in the past where we got to see guys grow and evolve, like Jordan, from Isaiah Thomas to Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, these guys, even though some of them came out right out the gate winning, a lot of guys, they had to grow into what they became. And when they grow into what they became, even though they were struggling, you got to watch that struggle, and then when they win, it's like so much sweeter. Like, when you look at like Paul Pierce, a lot of people don't remember this. Everybody talks about Paul Pierce and the Big Three, and also the Paul Pierce that I know is with the Paul Pierce with Antoine Walker when they was on that parquet floor and they had a horrible team. It was just them two. They had a horrible team. Like, they would be in the playoffs, but it wasn't a team that was going to go nowhere. But I'm telling you, that Paul Pierce, nobody could fuck with him. And then when they brought the Big Three, you was like, all right, they win a championship because now he has help. But without that struggle, Paul Pierce wouldn't become who he becomes. And to me, like, if you get Devin Booker out of Phoenix, Devin Booker won't become the Devin Booker that he's destined to be. Same thing with, like, look at Dame Lillard. Like, all the guys that are legendary, they just stay where they're. Kobe, Jordan, Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan. These guys didn't travel that much. You see what I'm saying? There are exceptions to the rules, but like with LeBron and stuff and Kevin Durant, But even with those guys, you're like, well, what could your career been if eventually they got you the help that you wanted? You would have stayed where you was at, and you would have elevated even more. So that's my take on it. I don't think the answer for everything is get a guy out of here. I disagree with that fully. I think guys need to endure, get better, and then eventually the skills and the practice come together, and then all of a sudden management makes one small tweak, or you get one big break, somebody gets injured on your opponent's team, or you guys, get a great draft pick, and all of a sudden now you're cooking with gas. Hoops Junction, Hoops Meets Hoopla. Like, comment, subscribe.